Hey everyone, BDZB Comics here, and it's fall! Meaning that both Pokémon and Digimon's big Nintendo Switch releases are just around the corner. In this corner, we have Pokémon Sword and Shield! And in this corner, we have Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition. To celebrate them both, I have quite a few videos planned for both series that I hope to get out by the end of the year. Coincidentally, my friends David and Allie just finished a Nuzlocke of Pokemon White over on their Couples Consoling YouTube channel. I hadn't really watched any Nuzlocke series before, so I didn't exactly know what to expect going into it. But now that I've watched all the way through, I definitely see the appeal. Even though I wasn't the one playing the game, I definitely grew attached to a lot of the party members the duo picked up over the course of their journey. So I want to celebrate that by counting down the top 10 Pokemon from throughout their playthrough. This video is basically impossible to do without spoilers, so I've provided a link to their entire playthrough as both a card and a link in the doobly-doo, so that if you're sensitive about that kind of thing, you can watch their entire 60-episode-long series before this video. Or if you don't care about spoilers, I guess we can just go on ahead. Let's go! Number 10. Gatorade. Starting off the list, we have Gatorade the Sandile, one of 4 Pokemon that David and Allie caught in the Desert Resort, which might or might not constitute a rule break, but Gatorade was technically caught in the Relic Castle, so he's fine, I think? Anyway, Gatorade came at the perfect time in the playthrough, just as our heroes were about to take on Elisa's Electric-type gym. After taking out quite a few of the gym's trainers, she evolved into Krokorok, and was able to put in work against the gym leader herself. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to make it out of the battle without sacrificing herself, but for as short of a run as she had, she was still able to quench our heroes' thirst and give them the energy and electrolytes needed to make it past the 4th gym. Number 9. Pillow. To put it lightly, Couples Consoling, episode 55, did not go well. Following the Great Opalucid Massacre, David and Allie were forced to head into the Elite Four with what was basically a brand new team. Underleveled and in over their heads, their team wiped, and at that point, it was unclear how the series would go on, or if it would even go on at all. Yet, at the beginning of episode 56, David revealed his secret backup plan.
I had a little surprise.
Throw's level 54?
I built a pillow fort.
Initially leveled up to take on Ghetsis' Hydreigon in round 1 against the Elite Four, Pillow the Throw became a staple member of David and Allie's round 2 team. Throw was able to take out several of the Elite Four's Pokemon, including N's Vanillux, Grimsley's entire team, and that pesky Hydreigon I mentioned. So, if Pillow was such an asset to the team, and took down the strongest Pokemon from the game's final battle, then why is he so low on the list? Well, it's because he was introduced so late, and never really developed much of a personality. Sure, the contributions he made were great, but I never really had the time to grow attached to him. Still, it's great to see David's plan work out, and to know that this pillow fort could not be toppled. Is number 8, Leonardo. What up, dudes? This radical reptile was first found in episode 23 as a fossil in that far-out place called the Relic Castle, but he wasn't revived until the next episode, which is pretty bogus if you ask me. Anyway, Leonardo was a chill dude who loved surfing and spreading positive vibes, you know? Like, his character wasn't super complex, but his power moves were freaking righteous. And he, totally carried the team through some tough battles, you know? It just, totally sucks that he died back in the Opa Loser gym or whatever. but this most triumphant turtle sure busted his shell back when he was still kicking. Number 7. Lily! Picture this. You're a Pokemon trainer, and you're walking around in the tall grass, and then suddenly, a Pokemon jumps out at you, and something about it seems off. You proceed to damage it and capture it in a Pokeball, but when you read through the Pokemon's moves, it suddenly dawns on you that you've just picked up a prostitute. That's the realization that David and Allie came to when they first caught Lily in Pinwheel Forest. Despite having a profession that some would look down upon, our heroes always treated Lily with respect, and she respected them back. Remaining as a consistent team member for 10 straight episodes, Lily was able to hold her own against a lot of the early game threats. Although by mid-game, she was spending most of her time in the PC box as David thought there were better team options and Allie wanted to keep her safe. Still, Lily did end up rejoining the team for their rematch against the Elite Four. This moment was bittersweet for me because Lily seemed to be Allie's favorite Pokemon that they caught during their journey. So, of course, putting her on the final team made sense from that perspective. However, the fact that a frail little Audino stayed on the team even after a legendary was added into the mix really irked me, and it led to what was perhaps the most easily avoidable mistake of the entire run. Ultimately, this level of preferential treatment is the reason why I can't rank Lily any higher on the list. She may have been best girl, but she definitely wasn't the best Mon for this job. Still, that flight attendant outfit is super cute. Soar on, Lily. Soar on. Number 6. Zodiac. You know, sometimes relationships get off to kind of a rocky start. Like, maybe the first few dates are a little awkward, or maybe the guy ends up murdering one of your closest friends right in front of you, but then you retaliate by capturing them inside a tiny ball. You know, simple stuff. Stuff that I'm sure we can all relate to. Jokes aside, though, Zodiac has his name for a good reason. He killed Jenafur, a staple of David and Allie's team up to that point, and the main Mon that they had used to capture other Pokemon. Despite this, the next gym was Flying type, and our heroes knew that they needed an Electric type to take on Elisa and her Swanna. So, they swallowed their pride and Zodiac joined the team as a nearly permanent party member. I say nearly permanent because he was one of the many victims of the Great Opelucid Massacre. But still, he managed to rack up quite a body count before he was detained and killed himself. R.I.P. Ted Cruz. Number 5, My Little Pony. Starting off the top 5, we have one of David and Allie's most legendary team members, and I do mean that literally. After gaining access to Surf, David decides it's a good idea to visit Miss Stralton Cave to try his luck at capturing Cobalion. To do this, the team needs to assure that they don't run into any other Pokemon that they haven't already caught on the way over. It's a small miracle that they didn't, but what happens next is even more of one. Our heroes didn't realize that this Pokemon was level 42, 7 levels higher than their strongest team member at the time. They also didn't really have anything on them that would do just a bit of damage to Cobalion and ensure that they wouldn't knock it out. Things could have gone horribly here. They could have easily knocked Cobalion out, or worse yet, had one of their pre-existing team members die to Cobalion. Yet, miraculously, after one Fire Punch and the toss of a single Ultra Ball, My Little Pony was caught, making for what was easily one of the most memorable moments of the entire series. From there, our heroes did their best not to use My Little Pony as a crutch. It spent a lot of time inside the PC box before finally being taken out after the Great Opelucid Massacre. After that, it led the initial charge against the Unova Elite Four, fighting valiantly against all odds, like a true legend. Number 4. Kesho. For long, it had been prophesied that a male timber named Kesho would join David and Allie's team. Yet, after a handful of accidental knockouts when encountering wild timber, there came a growing concern that perhaps the prophecy had been wrong. However, once the couple stepped into Twist Mountain, they came face to face with the girder set to fulfill the prophecy. 5 episodes later, the couple's real-life friend that definitely exists totally came over and traded Kesho so that he could evolve into Conkeldurr. From then on, Kesho was one of the most powerful members of their team, marching to the beat of his own drum, and making the most of each battle like he was gonna die young. Number 3. Snoop Dario. After beating the second gym by the skin of their teeth, the odds were against our heroes as they made their way to gym number 3. Their only options against the bug-type leader were their grass-type starter and the weak normal-type Jenafur. The duo searched the desert for someone, anyone, who could help them take on the upcoming gym challenge, and they ran into just the hero that they needed. Snoop Dario's fire typing was able to one-shot pretty much the entire third gym, and his high attack stat allowed him to keep one-punching enemies for episodes to come, even when he wasn't super effective against them. Snoop Dario was pretty consistently the highest leveled member of David and Allie's team, but he truly achieved a new level in episode 29, when he evolved into Darmanitan. Our heroes weren't quite sure what to make of his new, thick booty at first, but the extra power, and access to Hammer Arm, this form gave them could not be understated. Snoop Dario continued to be an asset basically all throughout the playthrough. He demolished the 7th gym, much the same as he had the 3rd. Unfortunately, the last gym was not quite so kind to him, as he was one of the many to perish in the Great Opelucid Massacre. Still, the fire in Daru's heart burns bright to this day. Number 2. Smugleif. They say you never forget your first, and after a first Pokemon like Smugleif, how could you? Smugleif has been with David and Allie through thick and thin, winning the first rival battle, overcoming the second gym when there was only one other party member, and surviving the Great Opelucid Massacre when none of the rest of the team could. He faced it all with a leaf blade in hand, or tail, I guess, and a smug smile on his face, saying, "On guard!" Right at the end of the playthrough, our heroes had the bright idea not to put Smugleif on their initial Elite Four team to spare the risk of them losing him. This initial team wiped out, but fortunately, David and Allie had learned from their mistakes and reintroduced Smugleif into their team, where he defeated Chantal's Jellicent, who was impossible to overcome initially, and landed the finishing blow against Ghetsis' final Pokemon in a kind of stupid, but admittedly cool move. Yet, even with all that said, Smugleif was not the best Pokemon in Couples Consoling's playthrough, as there was one other Pokemon who had a bigger impact on the series than perhaps every other party member combined. Now, before we get to the final party member, I do have a couple of honorable mentions. First, we have Loki. Loki, low-key, had a lot of plot significance. After the initial wipe against the Elite Four, this Pokemon was added to the team specifically to seal away the spirit who had ended the initial Elite Four attempt. Because they were introduced so late into the playthrough, and also because they didn't pull nearly as much weight as someone like Pillow, I couldn't really justify making them anything other than an honorable mention. Pokemon Jet Blue is next on our list, and this was the main Pokemon that David and Allie used to fly around the region, hence the name. They never really got into battle much, but they were on the team very often, especially towards the end of the playthrough, so I thought I'd give them a nod.
Aye, we got a bit of a 2-for-1 here. Yar, me mateys, it be Davy Jones. He spent most of the game in the locker,
Which I mean the PC box.
but he made his way out just afore the first battle with the Elite Four.
And HeyDW occupied a similar role slightly earlier in the playthrough, but I couldn't really do a pirate voice for her, so I'm combining them both into one entry. And last but not least, we have Last Hope, who was one of David and Allie's last captures before the Elite Four, and came in right as most of the primary team members were wiped out by Iris's dragons. This was a powerful Pokemon that would have been a real asset to use in either of the Elite Four attempts, but since the Mon actually wasn't ever used in battle, I can't justify giving it a spot on the list. And now, with all that out of the way, let's get on to the last, albeit pretty predictable, entry.
Number 1, Jenafur.
While Smugleaf may have been the first Pokemon that our heroes obtained, Jenafur was their first capture. She was the first Pokemon whose spot in the party was left up to chance, and had she not joined the party, the playthrough would have fundamentally changed to a point where they might not have even made it past the second gym. Jenafur easily had the biggest character arc in the whole playthrough. David and Allie captured her with the same mentality that a lot of trainers do when they capture an early game normal type. They'd keep her on the team for the time being, but they didn't really plan to level her up, and would replace her with something better once it became available. Slowly but surely, they began to amass a team of better Pokemon, like Pidove, Roggenrola, and Tympole. A team that they would train up in preparation for the second gym. A team that would not make it past episode 10. In their arrogance, Sharon the Pidove, Hardik the Roggenrola, and Ribbix the Tympole would all fall victim to Timber and Throw's Bide, leaving our heroes with just their starter and a level 2 Patrat. Knowing that Smugleaf might not be able to make it past Lenora on his own, the decision was made to finally start leveling Jenafur up. From there, Jenafur was not only able to give moral support in the battle against Lenora, but she helped out in plenty of other challenges along the way. She even became the go-to Pokemon for catching new team members, as her Super Fang assured that opponents would receive significant damage without ever knocking them out. It was in one such catching attempt that Jenafur met her demise. Falling prey to the Zodiac Killer, who David and Allie added to their team pretty much immediately after, Jenafur roamed the land as a vengeful spirit, trying to sabotage the trainers that she once loved. While some might blame their initial wipe against the Elite Four on poor planning or underleveling, in truth, it was Jenafur who corrupted the Elite Four's Pokemon, laying waste to her former trainer's new team. Realizing this, David and Allie crafted their ultimate plan to imprison Jenafur's spirit away and destroy the Hydreigon that is meant to serve as the hardest part of the game's final boss battle. After that final victory, our duo took a long journey over to Dragon Spiral Tower to ring the bell for Jenafur and wish her a happy final rest. And those are my top picks for the top 10 best Pokemon in Couples Consoling's Pokemon White Nuzlocke. Do you agree with my picks? Am I dumb and stupid and wrong? Either way, leave a comment and rating below letting me know what you think. This list was a lot of fun to make, and it wouldn't have been possible without the Couples Consoling YouTube channel, so go ahead and check them out. They're a great channel run by great people. David and Allie are doing a playthrough of Pokemon White 2 right now. It's another Nuzlocke run, and they'll eventually play Pokemon Sword and Shield when it comes out. So I left a link to their channel in the doobly-doo and as a little iCard thing as well. Next up in the Pokemon Digimon content spree is a Smash Brothers moveset for a Pokemon I've wanted for a long time, and let's just say it's pretty out of this world. But until then, this is BDZB Comics signing off.